Have India produced the impossible, or is this just the type of stuff that Bazball thrives on? We are at the end of day 3 here, and guys, you still can't quite call it. Yes, Win Predictor will give this to India, but England, they've done this before. $374 is the target, and yes, a lot of people will bring up the fact that the highest total that has ever been chased was like decades and decades ago, but I really want to speak about Sri Lanka. Last year, the only match that they won in England was at the Oval. They chased down 219 runs and they still had 8 wickets in hand. The pitches in England have just gotten flatter and flatter every year. Yes, this is a green top. It's so green, we're kind of like finding ourselves looking for the cattle. But today, it's kind of looked a little bit browner, if we're being honest. Ravi Shastri said it on air. You know, Ricky Ponting set 350 plus for him, and then India got to the 374, which I still think is a good score. But it's not impossible. Guys, I don't think it's impossible. I thought India batted really, really well. There was this amazing period, right? Because think about it this way. England's only got 3 seamers. Okay, spinning has not been, this pitch has not really been good for spinning though far. I don't think we're going to reach a point in this match where it is going to become important. So basically, England were bowling 3 seamers for 54.4 overs. Okay, that's pretty much the moment when Jadoo came in. I think it was very good from India to recognize that moment, to seize that moment, and to really up the ante, because the bowlers were looking tired. And I mean, look at this run rate that they scored, you know, 4.5-ish for the next 26 overs right before that new ball came, because it's England, you know, it's always a new ball pitch. The new ball is always going to be dangerous. So I thought all of those little partnerships along the way, you know, Jadeja, again, fantastic, also batted at a really, really good rate. All of that was very good. And then obviously at the end, Washington Sundar, you know, I just think he's going to become one of the big players for India in the future. And then Akashdeep. There are few things in life, right, that is more soul-crushing than a night watchman spending time at the crease, making runs at the pace that he was making the runs at. That innings could go along to be a very big match-defining innings. You know, one of your lower-order batters making a 66, one of the highest totals of the match so far. Now, if we look at England so far, tons of drop catches. Okay, we think about the extras in the first innings. These sorts of things have costed India the matches in the past in this series. So will this cost England the match? I still think England are going to be coming out tomorrow. They're going to be batting on a pitch that's probably going to be a bit more browner. They've got a heavy roller that they use as well, and that's what the heavy roller does. It kind of destroys the grass a bit. Interestingly enough, India used a light roller. Remember when they lost 5 wickets like this? Because they didn't want to damage the grass. They didn't want to damage the pitch. And then their bowling performance against England, you know, we all saw what happened there. It was absolutely phenomenal by all of them, Siraj, Akash, Krishna. Starting out now with Krishna, though, is a bit interesting for me. Already quite expensive. I know it's sometimes as a captain, you need to go with your gut feeling. Maybe he was the best bowler. Siraj was probably the best bowler, but maybe there's something about Krishna, you know, new ball, getting that bounce, extracting something from the surface. But yeah, so a bit shocking for me that they didn't start off there with Siraj. I guess when you've got 374 runs to play with, there is time to experiment. Another thing on Shubman Gill, I think a bit sad for some of you fans, that he did not get past the great Sunil Gavaskar. A huge congratulations to him, though. I still think, you know, 700 runs coming in, having to be captain. I thought, you know, he should be very proud of himself for his performance so far in this series. Not too good in London, though, but sometimes that happens. You know, the pitches were tough at Lord's. It was tough here, but very, very good from Shubman Gill. The other positive thing for India has been the Duke's ball, this test match. You know, it's just been performing really, really well. Coincidence? I wonder, because sometimes I think to myself, on those hard highway road-like tracks, I mean, what do you really expect from that ball? The ball is getting hammered every second or third or fourth ball. How long do you want them to last on pitches like that? So somehow I feel like both the curators and the manufacturers have to come to the party and decide what is actually the best for the Duke's ball and for English cricket as well, actually, especially with England having to travel for some of their test matches, also going to Australia. But look at this, for example, the seam, okay, the ball seaming has been over a degree between overs 30 and 80, which is quite remarkable, meaning even with that old ball, we saw when India was batting as well, some of the balls still nipped in. There was still quite a bit of seam. So I think that's positive signs for India. Even though the track is flattening out a bit, it's getting a bit browner, there are still some patches there for them to extract something from. And I think Akashdeep, for me, feels like a big name when it comes to that. And finally, something odd that we don't often see in Test cricket, but look at India's scoring areas here. I think this was about maybe 60 overs of their innings. This is as predominantly Jaiswal's innings. I mean, look at all of that there. You know, that's crazy. That doesn't happen normally. So what that does tell you is that, yeah, England weren't really that accurate, number one. Number two, the slip cordon, right? I cannot tell you how many runs went through that fourth slip area, kind of like between third slip and gully. Probably 80 plus runs. Everybody's been talking about it on the comm box. None of the captains have decided to plug that. Guys, if 30, 40, 50 runs per innings is going through that hole, surely something has to be done about that. So that's just been one of the weird things for me. I wonder if Shubman Gill is going to be proactive and he's going to want to do something about that. He's got a big total to defend here. For me, I still think you cannot... The last thing India could do now is become complacent. All right, England, they still bat deep. You can probably bet your bottom dollar that Wokes will come out and bat if England needs 40 runs or something like that. He'll come out and bat. They do bat deep. And I do think that we can expect conditions to get a little bit better, but I do think getting a big total like 374, something over 350, does give India a bit of a psychological advantage. So for me, I think India, it feels like their day, but anything can happen tomorrow. A lot of experience in that England side as well, but yeah, a great day of cricket. And I guess for India, let's hope it doesn't flatten out too much tomorrow. And for England, just bat.